Is West Coast the best coast? All my life I thought I was in the West Coast. Now I realize I'm in the East Coast. So which coast is the best coast? Toast to the most, man. Peace, Drop Nation. Y'all ready to go on a fantastic voyage? Y'all ready to ride the wave? Alright, man, let's check it out. We got a lot to do. We got some fun, man. We got these brothers dropping that drop. Let's find the truth. Got me in the booth. Feeling like Fabo, no chip too. Freestyling facts, yo. Welcome back to the drop. You already know what time it is, man. Peace, let us find the truth, man. Go get your survival drop. Excuse me. Drinking my water too fast. But yeah, get that survival drop right up on it. Sister got at me today. You know what I'm saying? Peace to your sister. You know, she said, what about my family? You know what I'm saying? What am I going to do? I said, what about the Creator? What are we going to do? Everyone has this individual like mentality like, but I need help to organize my family. No, you have to wake up and organize your family. That's your activation. Don't put somebody else in responsibility for your activation, for your organization. We have to organize ourselves, right? We got to organize our family and the community that is coming together, that understands what they got to overstand. It's pure water. But that's not everybody. It's not about a campaign together, to help everybody form organization in their community. It's about people waking up in their community, taking the drop, sharing the drop, getting that survival drop. What do we do for our families? We teach them. We teach them things. This is how to make charcoal. You want to see? All right. Well, how do you make charcoal? Let's get the drop. Hey, somebody's going to teach you how to make charcoal. I mean, what's up? What's up? We ready now? Y'all ready to go now? We good? Now, this is dope, though. Now, where did he learn this? And where did they learn this? We have to be a tribe again. Can't nobody teach us. We got to teach ourselves. We got to be. You can get the job, but at the end of the day, you got to be. You have to remember. What about my family? What about them? What about your family in the cities? If you don't learn how to do this, but watching TV and going to work and being on the freeway, you think it's how to live and how to die? Or do you build? Any questions? If he could do it, you could do it. We used to learn how to live, how to save our lives. Now we need them for everything. They colonized us, now we need them for everything. So, now the charcoal's ready to go. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Charcoal. Come on. He got his charcoal, he good. He got his basket. It's the basket we dropped on our survival drop. They had the handles to them where you can carry them like a backpack. Now you got your charcoal. Now I don't know how long that take. I just say, does he have the drop on you? I don't think so. Did he learn the drop from you? I do think so. Yeah, man, you don't know what you're going to get at the drop, man. You might have to learn about the club. The origins of the club. You don't know what's going to get dropped on you when you go to the drop. J. Stu, take it away.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I got to look right here. One thing I want to say before I start this video is my head big as shit on camera.
Stupid. My dude is retarded.
Like, damn, it's big in person, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, it's big. But on camera, it look like, damn. Anyway, alright, this video I want to just touch on, it's going to be a little quick little video, you know what I'm saying? Just something I was thinking about, and I want to share it with y'all, but it's about how, like, where I think the origins of, the whole club scene come from, you know what I'm saying? It's just my opinion. I've heard this from, I heard other people have the same opinion too, but this is something that I've always thought of too. So I wanted to share it with y'all, but, alright, so, specifically I want to talk about the caveman, the Caucasian, right? The people who come from the Caucasus Mountains, right? I'm gonna tell you why I think this whole club. And first thing is, why would they name a club? You know what I'm saying? Why would they name a place where you go meet women and, you know what I'm saying, and party and shit like that? Why would they call it a club? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You gotta think about shit like that too sometimes. You know, why they use certain words for certain things. then you gotta then try to match the word up with the actual the purpose of that event or thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do this word correlate with what this facility is really used for? You know what I'm saying? But all right, so the caveman, right?
Pay attention.
They used to walk around with the clubs, right? The sticks. And what they used to do was they used to hit the women upside the head with the club, right, and knock them out.
Damn.
And then they had to pick them up and take them back to the cave and have sex with them. You know what I'm saying? Because they wasn't, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't romantic. You know, they cavemen. They don't have no manners or nothing like that. They don't know civilization or nothing like that. They're really nothing more than any other wild animal, you know what I'm saying? To be honest, no disrespecting nobody, but I'm just saying, like, this what, you know what I'm saying? Like, this how they was living, you know what I'm saying? They'll tell you that. This is what they tell about the cavemen. So, you know, like I said, they hit the women upside the head with the club, knock them out, right? And they pick them up and go back to the cave and have sex with them, right? All right, so let me tell you how this correlates with the whole club scene. All right, you go to the club, right? And then you meet women there, right? And then you meet them. You might take you something back to the crib. You know what I'm saying? Back to your man cave, right? You take the girl back to the man cave after you pick her up, right? You see where I'm going with this? Like, after you pick the girl up, you know, this time not literally, you know, metaphorically. They call it a pickup when you go meet a girl at the club or something. You get a number. I guess that's what they call a pickup. You know what I'm saying? So you go to the club. You pick up your girl, then you take her back home to your man cave, and you have sex with her. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's why I think, like, this shit come from. You know what I'm saying? And we adapt their lifestyle and shit, and we think it's cool. Like, it's what everybody brag about. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So then another thing that I always said that I think, you know, I personally think they supposed to be a part of their food chain, you know what I'm saying? Because when you think about the whole zoo thing, like, I think the reason why they had to create zoos and all these artificial environments and inhabitants for these different animals and shit, because they couldn't view them in their natural habitat because they knew that was a part of their food chain. So they needed a way to, like, separate themselves from the animals and to be able to view them at the same time or run tests on them or, you know, whatever kind of shit they wanted to do to them. You know what I'm saying? So, and they knew that was a part of their food chain. So in order for them not to get ate, or, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm trying to say, you know what I'm saying, they that's what they had to do. They had to create zoos. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I think the whole zoo shit comes from. Like, they had to separate themselves from these animals to be able to view them, because they couldn't view them in their natural habitat, because they knew they was gonna get their ass ate up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa, shit. You know, so they could have been doing the eating shit.
All that.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion on what it kind of, how they kind of correlate with, you know what I'm saying, whatever type of lifestyles we live in. There's a whole lot of other things too that, you know, we adapted from them too. And there's a lot of stuff that they adapted from us. You know what I'm saying? Like cleanliness and things like that, man. They didn't know nothing about that when they came here to the Americas, man. They didn't know nothing about none of this. And it's in their documents. This is what they say, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, hey, it's just my little opinion, you know what I'm saying? But I'll be back with more videos. I try to make a video a day, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to. And try to touch on different things. I ain't really gonna have no specific order in which I make videos. You know, whatever I'm thinking about that day, whatever I'm feeling, whatever I'm vibing with that day, then that's what I'm gonna drop. You know what I'm saying? Just
drop it.
There. You know, I ain't really trying to. I don't feel like I have to be organized now. I just feel like information is information. You know, you take it and do whatever you want with it. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to be. I'm just trying to fulfill, you know what I'm saying, what I think I came here for spiritually, you know what I'm saying? I don't this information ain't coming to me for no reason, just for me to just sit here and just soak it all in for myself when I know there's other people out here who could be benefiting from this same information, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like I know it's a reason why I know what I know. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a reason why, you know, I've been through the things in my life that I've been through. Like, it's like nothing. I don't feel like nothing in my life is for accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, I promise. I feel like something watching over me, cause what I done been through, bro. Like, something watching over me. Like, I know that for a fact. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me otherwise. Something with a high power is watching over me in my life, my whole entire life. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I'll praise the Creator, man. I'll praise the Creator. But yeah, hey, I'll get it with y'all another time. See y'all in the next video. Peace.
Man. Love to Jay Stu, man. Jason Stewart, King, man, got mad research. First of all, you need to know that. Man, I mean, you know what I'm saying, to a point where, like, the kings and queens that really hit me with, like, the most research, I feel obligated to convince them to just drop it. Because I know I can't keep up, nor am I going to hit all the points that they see. I mean, they're being, you know what I'm saying, like you said, you know what I'm saying, it's happening in you, you know what I mean? So it's for you to get out. The first step, yeah, is contributing to something. You see, like, damn, man, I'm contributing to what's going on, but at the real, man, this thing is light speed, yo. I mean, you know what I'm saying? This thing is happening fast. I just checked my, you know what I'm saying, box of folks, man, a circle of folks, man, and I mean, it's like 6 or 7 new drops, you know. It's impossible to really see everything and keep up with everything, and that's how it should be. We should be dropping so much that we can't really keep up with it, but you will be drawn to the right thing at the right time. So let's keep it going, man. But yeah, man, love to J Stu. Subscribe to J Stu. Hit up the drop. You know what I'm saying? You'll find all the kings and queens and everybody here, man. You don't know what's coming next, man. You don't know. Stuff is happening everywhere. Look at it. Things are going on. I mean, this is just crazy. You know, right quick, it's like a minute. Chinese police blow up this whole damn thing. And they just want to show off the type of stuff that's coming to a theater near you. This ain't play. You know? Any questions? So, you know, they're just showing off their stuff, you know. Doing what it do. This is crazy. This Pokemon Go thing. People falling off cliffs. This stuff got mind control. They call it augmented reality. They playing with your brain. I always like to drop some new artists, different videos, keep it fresh. This is actually a cool cut. We'll actually probably put it in 432 pretty soon. Community drop. This sister, you know, she keeps with it, man. You know what I'm saying? Is there a point? Check her out. Man, IG 45N2. Dumb Diversas keeps coming to you, man. Out in Davis, Dumb Diversas got the drop, man. Pay attention. Don't forget N.W. Smith. What does the line in Daniel chapter 7? So this is Drop Nation. This is what I'm talking about. This is all cats just like me. You know what I'm saying? Just surfing the wave. N.W. Smith, out in Davis, all brand new in terms of, you know what I'm saying, this particular public wave that we're surfing, but we've been doing, you know what I'm saying, we've been surfing the wave forever, right? We've all been surfing the wave, but now we are linking up publicly. So when I say brand new, it's just like a public link, but trust me, man, we've been surfing the wave for a while. So shout out and love to everybody. Let's get to it. Let us find the truth. Got me in the booth. And we're going to kind of cut through some of this. And I'm going to cut through some more. And we're going to get to it. And I'm going to try to go swift. You might have to just stop, rewind, whatever, or not. Do you, but let's go. Let us find the truth. Kings to you. Subscribe. His platform is just Jedi. It's crazy. It's beautiful. So it's a pleasure to, start to link what we're doing and what he's doing. It's just natural, right? So watch out. Here we come. It's a feature in the feature. What's up, man?
Come on down. You're going to see important websites. And on these important websites, you see...
hey, we'll talk. We're linking up.
His website. I've got Real History. I've got the Indians of North America, Sacred Text Archive, FIAH, National Executive Orders, and I've got African American surnames. Now, that's the surnames of African Americans and the slave holder. We're going to deal with that in a second, but that's what the video is mainly about. We're going to deal with that. But I want to, give you people a quick look around so you understand what this channel is all about.
Got to get to this site,
right,
bookmark it.
Yeah, of course, you come here as a homepage.
It's your resource.
There's a lot of interesting stuff on the homepage, but I want you to pay attention. There is a blog, all right? Click on the blog. The blog is where I basically put different videos that might be very interesting to help us understand what's going on around us. So you can go all through the blog. You're going to find a lot of stuff in the blog. Help yourself to that. YouTube authors, please help yourself to this as well. You're going to see a list, and the list is growing. These are people that have stepped out there and are doing research and work and bringing information out. So this is very important. Use that to your advantage to learn. All right, and don't just go browse the first two videos you see. Go back in time with those channels and look at the things they got before that and see what they've been talking about the whole time.
Drop Nation.
I had people come to my channel, watch one fucking video, and think that I'm stupid as hell because I'm talking about one particular thing, and they think I've never looked at anything else. That's stupid. Go back to the past videos. You'll find out, hey man, I've been researching a lot, and I give you the documents, so just keep the dumb shit. Whatever, I don't need that shit. All right, the public library. You already know what time it is. Public library's got tons of books, and that collection is growing. I'm working on the sacred text page where I'm going to get a lot of the text put up here, so it's a link that you can click on and go straight to. The important info and links. This again is very important to you because a lot of the documents in here you can print off and keep your own records in a book. All right.
Wow.
Let's see. I got a spot where it's details and the music. It's just videos where messages.
And all this is free. The brother is paying for the site. When you click on the books, you're going to find books that are very hard to find, and he's finding the PDFs, and you can download them for free. You try to do that on your own. People trying to make you subscribe to different things. And we're all contributing. So if I find some drop, you already know. Boom, boom, it's in the library. A sister finds some drop, it's in the library. Every day people are finding some new drop in Drop Nation, and we're contributing to building a library. And I'm going to follow up and build a library on my platform. I am encouraged because I need a library so we can have multiple sources of these books and information backed up, whatever it takes, you know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Are sitting in the video, and you gotta decipher it. This will help you learn how to decode what you see in front of you while you're walking around in your normal life, caught in the fucked up frequency, as the drop would say, the 444, right? Or the 440.
McDonald's.
The Afro People's part, I've got, as you can see, Americans Forgotten Story, which you're going to find images. This is pretty much just images is all you're going to find through here. Life Central America, research, and we still got to get a good laugh on, you know what I'm saying?
No
So I
doubt, no
want to
doubt.
try to get more of that content put in there so you can relax from time to time and just have a good laugh, all right? So you get more history of the Negro there. Then here we've got other studies. These are different people that talk about different things, but you can find relevance from what you're learning inside these things. So don't just, you find stuff in there. And of course, we've got the history page, and it is what it is. So now that we went through that, understand what this place is for. This place is growing. I'm going to be doing work with the drop, and we're going to try to figure out more things that need to be put in, and different things need to go to different places. So this thing is going to grow. But right now, this is what it is. So now that we got through that, let's go back to the home page because I want to get to something important. All right. So thank you for bearing with me through that. African American surnames. We were dealing with, in the last video, I believe, we're dealing with Negroes that had pretty much amalgamated themselves and turned themselves in the appearance of white. So, we look at certain people and we're like, yeah, they're white. That's to tell you can't be racist. You're really just stupid. Well, you can't be racist anyway because you don't have the means or the power to be that. So that's stupid. Yeah. Prejudice, you can't really be prejudiced because you don't know who you're looking at. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, of course, that mixing in made some of your people look different from you, but nonetheless, you're not going to know who they are. You're just going to be judgmental. Hey, man, Judah is going to get to fighting with his brother because he thinks his brother's the oppressor, and not all of them is going to be that. So at this point in time, with everything I'm learning, I stay away from that prejudice stuff. I don't care for it, and racism, I don't care for it. All that stuff's got to be dead and gone, you know what I'm saying? You got to treat things the way it is. If somebody's got a negative attitude, somebody's got a hateful attitude, somebody feels like they want to be above you or destroy you, just treat that individual as that individual is. Don't put that on everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing we deal with today. And I'm going to hurt some feelings with this, but I'm going to do what it do.
Do it.
We look around and we say, oh, man,
all right, hold on.
In the quote-unquote a Negro community, we got thugs out here to walk around sagging their pants, man, I don't associate me.
I don't want to do 3 parts of this thing, so I'm going to try to just get to certain areas, and we're going to get there. Let's go. Let us find the truth, man. Kings to you, my brother. Let go.
All this before we get to the other thing, because there was something very funny here. I think you all should see it and understand what it is, so you can be like, wow.
Now.
They very critical information, right?
Knew I did something.
The ethnicity.
Knew I did something.
Know your heritage, right? I'm going to read all this before we get to the other thing.
All right, cool. All right, so the brother's going to kick. He's going to get into the surnames. You know what I'm saying? And this is when it gets, look, man, I'm surfing the wave. I'm excited. I'm excited to search out something that has not been brought to me any other way. So if I can find another path that has not been traveled, you know what I'm saying? So whatever we've always done, that's the stuff you got to stop doing. And you got to rethink all that stuff. So you say, oh, I got my last name, my slave name. I just got my slave name, whatever my name is. You know what I'm saying? And you say, well, that's, so I'm going to change my name to XYZ because I've been colonized with this slave name. Now, here's something that let's just surf the wave and say, what if? All right, let's have a whole new theory about this thing. Because that's what we do here. We don't got to hold our guns here. All right, we can just let it go. We can let it go because we're just enjoying, man, being scientific. We are searching out repeatable and observable science. All right, so check it. You got your last name, that's your slave name, right? Well, let's look into the slave owners. And the basis is, did they give you that name or did they take your name? Did they give you that Tyler and Cooper and this and that and that? Or did they take your name and then take over your property? And then you were the such and such slaves, but you were you, but then they built debt in you, and then they called themselves you, and they stole your titles. So if there were a bunch of Joneses, then you say, okay, well, this person must have owned a bunch of Joneses. In reality, these are the people that were owning the Joneses, taking the title of the Joneses, and since they didn't want to go by their own titles from wherever the hell they came from, they said, well, I own I own the Jones slaves. So I take the title of Jones, and now my name is Tim Jones. And they walk around with your titles and your names on your land. And if you go back to that property of whoever the slave owners are, or then they try to change it to slave holder because it sounds nicer. I'm just holding these slaves. I don't own them. I'm just holding it. I don't own it. So the slave owners, those who were owning the Joneses. So if multiple people own multiple groups of Joneses, then they too were Joneses. And when they crossed paths, they said, oh, I got some Joneses. You got some Joneses. But it gets even deeper when we follow the family surnames and the family crests back into their old world, which is really our new world, right? So that back into Europe, and we're tracing the Byzantine, we're tracing Turkey, we're trying to understand this Roman Empire at that time. It's all coming back around. We see the migration patterns and why we are Afro-Asians. There is no Europe, it's just Asia. There is no Europe, it's just Asia. So what's going on in Asia and Turkey, and what's going on with this Mazaka and Mosak, and that used to be Turkey, Caesarea, Khazaria, all this stuff is swirling around with us all, right? So let's get to this drop. I just kind of laid out a little quick foundation for you. So let's just walk down a theory, all right? You have a last name. You said it was a slave name. You said someone stamped you with their slave name. What if they didn't give you their name, but they took you over and then took your name and title and then built up debt in your name? And that's why the Pope says, give them back their names when he issued that open letter recently. Give them their names back. All the debt you build up in their name. And now you follow the same names that they stole from you here, and how these things have royal family crests that you can follow all the way into, the European, all what you're thinking is European, which is really you and your family. And when they did the dumb Diversas, they went to war against the Saracens. We're going to get to that, pagans, and us at the same time. 1492, they started exiling the Jews out of Spain and all this kind of stuff like that, the Moors. Then they got the stuff going on here in the same year in 1492. This is a real murky time. And it's going to tie perfectly into Lex Will's, bringing in the theory of the Shalmaneser not being 750 BC, but actually in the 1200s. And how they added damn near 2,000 years to our time. And all this happened recently. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. So let's go. Large slaveholders of 1860 and African American surname matches from 1870. Now we're going to go right into Georgia. This connects with Lex Will's drop. I'm saying we're not trying to do this, but this does. The Cherokee drop and how they were holding down Georgia. And then they had Louisiana and how, what's looking like, these Chataba, Esau happening right there. With these tribal wars are happening right here in our own turf. Georgia, you got a lot of us in Louisiana, Mississippi, all these are territories. And in Georgia, you had a lot of the Cherokee base, you had a lot of, and that's what was going on when you see what was happening with the tribal wars here. But I'll let them explain. But we're going to get really deep and fun. This is actually really fun. Oh, this is awesome. You should enjoy this. Let's go.
Because there was something very funny in here, and I think you all should see it and understand what it is, so you can be like, wow, they did a good job with that. Fucking us over, they did a good job. So, let's see if I can blow this up a little bit more. Alright, so what we have here is Large Slaveholders of 1860. An African American Surname Matches from 1870 by Tom Blake from 2001 to 2005. So this guy put in some work running this information down so it's accessible to you. Alright, so introduction and purpose. When this project was begun in 2001, published information, given names of slaveholders. Keep this in mind. This gonna fuck your head up when we get to the particular.
And right quick, just let me preface this so we are all clear. I'm not saying that your last name Cooper Taylor is your indigenous name. I'm saying that however that title, however that was thrown together in their language, however it became, it was yours. It was yours. I don't care if they say, oh, I found him on the banks, so these are the banks, right? Well, then you became the banks. But then what happened? They became the banks, and they used your name to be the banks. And the debt that they accrue, they're all in the bank's name, but that's your name. Even if that's not your indigenous name, banks, according to how they treated it, legally and with how they built their debt up, you know what I'm saying? With you as this fictitious business, as this proxy, you still were being used and put out there as property, as chattel, as banks. They were still owning that, but they're representing it too. But they're representing it on top of you. So there's their banks, the white banks and the black banks. And the white banks can build the debt on the black banks. And that's pretty much the banks. All right, so come on. I mean, we're surfing here. Let's just go. Let's just go for it.
Alright, so published information given names of slaveholders was not readily available, and list of the number of slaves they held were virtually non-existent. You couldn't find this information before 2001, right? But Tom Blake said, I'll find it. Determination. Alright, so that was non-existent, right? As pointed out in the update section below, some slaveholder name index books may now be available in larger research libraries. So we should be able to find the detailed versions of these things in libraries, but he's got most of it up here for us. And an 1860 slaveholder index with information on individual slave age, gender, and race is now available online to subscribers at Ancestry.com. Now, I'm dishing out money to run my website. I ain't going to sit here and tell y'all that I'm going to dish out more money to go get my hands on this information. But I want you, somebody who actually who actually cares. Say that nice. Who actually cares, right? If somebody actually cares about the relevance of this, right? Then go spend some money and get a hold of Ancestry.com, subscribe or whatever, and spend whatever money it is and make videos on this. Because listen, as pointed out in the update section below, some slaveholder name index books may now be available in larger research libraries, and an 1860 slaveholder index with information on individual slave age, gender, transgender, and race is now available online.
All right, so let me skip ahead a little bit. Right about here. Let's just keep surfing away. Maybe they stopped jamming us up. Alright, while this loads, I'll just say something. So this shit crazy, right? This shit crazy. Alright, so, you know, this is all actually like untangling this whole system in which you're trying to, you know what I'm saying, jujitsu your way out of. But in order to do that, right, you have to pick the lock. You know what I'm saying? You can't start going crazy, you know. What do we do? How do we organize? Well, we have to pick the lock. You know what I'm saying? As we come together, the energy, the awareness is picking the lock. And it's bringing out more and more wonderful information, you know. I don't know what's going on with this thing. So, acting weird. Let me reload it. You know how they be playing. So this is what we're doing now. So part of it makes you want to freak out. This part right here is going to be really, Alright, so we see what's going on. We you know, we'll get back into the Esau or ESAW connection with the Indians. If you have Google, whatever, Yahoo, whatever, open a tab, type in ESAW Indians. It's going to lead you to Chatawba, Chatawba. Click on Chatawba, and the first thing that pops up is Esau. And this is where our brother Lex Will, with his brilliant work, as usual, is connecting these things with the Chatawba, or Choctaw, or Choctaw. Alright? And, you know what I'm saying, the sister herself, you know what I'm saying, blatantly say, we helped the Europeans when they came here, and then we decided to help slaves. She didn't say that they were slaves. So clearly they must not have been slaves if they're being punished by the government for helping slaves by her own admission. You know what I'm saying? The government is punishing her for helping slaves, then clearly they were not in that category. So they helped the Europeans and they helped the slaves. All right, we back.
It is 7/14/2016.
And what's the worst thing to be? Stuck in the middle.
Even though in some...
The worst thing is when you're stuck in the middle. So you help the Europeans, which in case, ipso facto, led to our destruction. So you contributed in our destruction, the destruction of Israel, the destruction of the seed of the Creator. You assisted it. Then you say, I feel bad, let me help them out. And the government said, what? You can't help them. We don't even recognize you anymore as a tribe. So we ain't even going to give you recognition here. So now it's like, well, somebody recognize me. Will the Creator recognize me? Well, if he won't, the government will, right? So then they work with the government. They get checks with the government. All right, we back. Let's go. Meanwhile, what happens to you, brother, sister? Who's your enemy?
More than one large holder in the county had the same in the power of name.
In the power of
your name. In
you.
The power of your name. They didn't use their names. They had to use your name.
Oh.
In the power of your name, we're going to take claim to your land. We're going to secure all the resources. We're going to trade off this shit. We're going, man.
Read it.
Man, look at the hijack. Listen. I don't think you understanding this. Brother Hiram said, listen, man, he said, the woman put some valuable information in the book. And she was like, yo, they use your names. Like, these is your names, right? And then Brother Lex was like, yo, they've been doing everything in your name, right? In your name, they've been doing everything. So, sir is in the power of the name. What name? What was your last name? If your last name is Coleman, well, I've been accruing, amassing all this debt under the indigenous aboriginal family name of Coleman.
Damn.
So I've been speaking for the Colemans. I've been doing business for the Colemans. Oh, fuck. Oh.
So they're walking around, when you see it with your names, you're thinking that it's a European name until you go to Europe, and it's not. But when you do research it in Europe, you end up with Negro family crests. And you say, well, who was fighting these Turks there? Who were they going to war against? Who are the Saracens? The same brother, Let Us Find the Truth, broke down. Even those that try to hide it in Muslim, that's the code word. Saracen is Muslim. Saracen is Muslims. You do the etymology on the Muslim, you realize that's code word for the people that submit to a promise. That got nothing to do with any religion at all. It's etymology, it's meaning. Muslim, the meaning is people who submit to a promise. A promise of who? Then they call it Muslim Jerusalem in America. No, those are the people that submit to the promise of Jerusalem in America. The copper colored races. So they're walking around with these titles, however you got them. Cooper, Taylor, whatever the case is. But you had them, however it was. And now they're walking around as businesses doing business in your family name. Representing your family and your land. Building debt, doing their thing, balling. Oh, I'm Thompson. I'm Adams. Oh, you don't think you're the original Adams? Stay tuned.
Let's keep going. I think y'all understand what happened there. If y'all didn't understand what happened there, cut the video on tomorrow and try it again. Ooh, man. For each county I've transcribed, you can find a report on Listen, oh man. Listen. The Pope said, give them back their names.
Right.
You motherfuckers running around here calling yourselves fucking Coleman. You calling yourself Jackson. You motherfucker. Listen, man. Listen. These motherfucking occupiers. Now my nerves got plucked. Now you see the foul language coming out.
Go in.
Right? The dirty words coming out.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Real shit. These motherfuckers took your motherfucking name. Right? And they doing all this shit in your name.
Damn.
You understand what I'm saying? They walking around in your name.
Damn.
A motherfucker walking around with your name. Listen, hey, your name Williams, right? Let's say your name is Williams. Listen. Now, your occupier is walking around with your name wearing that shit like it's some king shit. Like, yeah, it's this shit. I'm a Williams. I'm a Coleman. I'm a Jackson. Nigga, you ain't no Jackson. Nigga, you ain't no Williams. Nigga, you ain't no Coleman.
Hey.
You ain't none of that shit.
Come on.
What the fuck you is an occupier and a hijacker.
Hijack City.
On some real shit. In the power of my motherfucking name. You walk in these motherfucking streets, doing all this shit, you living high on the motherfucking horse under my name. Straight up. That's what it is. I'm noble. Now you're living and walking around under my noble name.
Right.
Under my noble name.
Right.
You're walking around as if you're fucking royalty. Right? I know my last name. My last name is stated.
People, your names are royalty. Some people have, these type of what they call English names, right? But these people stole your names, right? The people in France, you know what I'm saying? They had the big lawsuit and whatnot, and now the white people in France, who like whoever was going against them in the lawsuit, who was claiming, as a white person in France, cannot even use the word French to describe themselves because the word French described the indigenous people of France that were there before them. Now we're going to get back to Turkey. We're going to get back on this timeline. We're going to separate from the illusion of this extra couple hundred years of Shalmaneser in 750 BC. See, there's no AD BC when you get rid of the hijack. Oh, Jesus died here and Jesus rose here. Get rid of the hijack. Now they're playing with your mind. Genghis Khan, all this stuff. These Mongols came over in 1200. That's why they don't know who built the mounds. It was you who built the mounds. But, hey, we don't know. Because they just got here in 1200. Huh? That's your cham. This is Hijack City. Your names are royalty, and we're going to prove it.
To being a noble name. Right?
Noble
Some
name.
type of
Noble
royalty,
name.
Right? I'm cool with that. But what I'm not cool with is the hijack. Now, you mean to tell me this motherfucker's walking around, my oppressor's walking around, carrying my name, holding his face and head and nose up high and proud, but he's wearing my name?
Right.
Is that what you're telling me? That's what I'm reading, so nigga, that's what I'm telling you. Nah, you ain't telling me that shit, cuz. You mean to tell me that these niggas walking around here with my name are walking around with my name? Right. That's what the fuck we reading.
Right.
So the slave holder, and we're going to deal with that slave holder too, because that's fucked up too. But this some fucked up shit right here, but that slave holder shit's even more fucked up. But we got you. We understand. So they walking around with your name. Just understand that. They doing all type of shit literally in the power of, literally, in the power of
etymology.
Your name. I'm subbing for the original Coleman.
Woo!
You ain't subbing for no Coleman, motherfucker. Coleman right here, nigga. Nigga, I'm right here. I'm subbing for Jackson. Nigga, you ain't subbing for me. Nigga, I'm right here. Nigga,
that's the whole Sir drop. Sir William. Sir Andrew. I'm subbing for the Andrews. I'm subbing for the Allens. I'm subbing for them. I've taken them over. I've hijacked. I am Hijack City.
Hey, I'm right here, nigga. What the fuck? Dirty motherfucker. Alright, so let's move along.
Damn!
For each county I have transcribed, you can find a report on slaveholding statistics in 1860 with the full names of some of the largest slaveholders and also information on African Americans on the 1870 census. Nigga, stop calling me African. God! What's the same? Nigga, you know I ain't no African because you came to this motherfucker and you took my name. If you took my name, why the fuck the Africans ain't got no name like mine, nigga? Nigga on some real shit. If I'm fucking African, why in the fuck you doing business in my motherfucking name? And my motherfucking name ain't in Africa. On some real shit. You motherfuckers out here saying you African. If you an African, your name Abutu or Dishiwa or Yuju, nigga, if that's your name, that's your motherfucking name. But that ain't my motherfucking name. So I'm not a fucking African. And why am I not an African? Because of Sir. And what the fuck does Sir mean? In the power of. So, that's not me. I'm not a fucking African, so y'all can scratch that shit off the list, because you just told it right here. When you said surname, you fucking said it. Ain't no...
Hey, when you understand where this is going, who is? When you see this map, I'm going to show you. And I'm going to give it away right now and say it is some like weird cartoonish video game virtual reality type of map. But damn, does it have all the drop and all the babies still in the bathwater? I think so. And you're going to change what you've been thinking about this Africa nonsense. And you're going to come home. You're going to come home. Whoa, is this Hijack City? Let's go.
Africans with no fucking names over here, over there. So that's done. Lexington dropped the Apache information, and right here you got these dumb motherfuckers telling your ass in Sir name, in the power of your name. Your name is not in Africa, so we done with that African shit. If somebody tells you that they fucking African, ask them what their last name is. If they say Abatake Buku or Fuku Fuku Fuku, the nigga using African. But if they tell you their motherfucking name Jones, Jackson, Hill, Smith, Coleman, nigga, shut the fuck up. You ain't no fucking African, nigga. Them names is not in Africa, you stupid motherfucker. Let's move along. African Americans on the 1870 census with the same surname as the holders.
The crazy thing is, some of those names are in Africa. But now, I got a family member with a regular English last name who's from Nigeria. Right? From Nigeria. And again, that's West Coast. And you know what I'm saying? We used to get to mess with him. Be like, man, how's your last name? A regular name, kind of like a Jones. Just call it Jones, because basically, such and such Jones. How are you a Jones in Nigeria? It made no sense. Until now I get it. When I understand that our family, a lot of them there were brought there from here during the slave trade. We weren't brought there in the millions. They were brought from here there in the thousands. And they got their cliques and tribes and different things, and they've been fighting the folks on that land that was there before them ever since. They are outsiders there. But then the ones that got regular English names are not just, colonized by the English. The English stole those names from the Americans. And perhaps, see, everybody who's a Jones doesn't necessarily mean that they daddy's name is Jones and Jones, but that just means that they come from a certain group of people, a certain tribe of people, people that they know are related, and they call them all Jones. Oh, he's related to the Joneses, he's a Jones. So you're grouped into Jones, but that carries a name. That carries property. That carries your own title, but they've been doing business in the power of you. And when we get to this Asia drop, this Europe drop, where we're going, you'll see, oh boys, your history deep over there. Nothing is what it seems.
Surname matching of slaveholders with 1870 Americans is intended merely as suggesting another possibility for further research by those seeking to make connections between slaves and slaveholders. Now the fucking Pope told you, give them motherfuckers their name back. Take your fucking debt that you made in their fucking name. The Pope said this shit. The debt you made in their name, take that shit back. You gotta pay that fucking debt back. Hunger Games, motherfucker. You gotta pay that debt back. So you're gonna be working for a long time without getting any fucking money, because you gotta pay the debt back you have accrued in the name. In the name. In the power of this name, I do all this fucked up shit. You gotta pay it back. You gotta pay the shit back. You understand now? You gotta pay that debt back. The fucking China's not coming to find the Negro. China knows that this other motherfucker used the Negro's name and accrued all this debt. Now who got to pay that debt back? So now we fully understand. Now we fully understand the meaning of the surname, and we fully understand what the hell the Pope was saying. So we done with the African. There's no, go find me a motherfucking African over there in Africa with the last name Coleman Smith Jones, and we'll talk about a motherfucker.
Let me get to this part right quick. We're gonna keep moving, man. Bring it out. This is how we feel. This shit ain't gonna sound good to you. You ain't gotta be wrapped in the perfect wrapper for you to get the drop. This is not custom drop. You can't order some custom drop. You know what I'm saying? You get it, right? Alright, so you gotta be flexible. We're gonna have to just get this drop. You have to let down your guard if you want the drop. No one's here to offend you. We're only here because we're pissed, because everything's been taken and everyone has contributed. So if we going in, well, damn, it's time. Alright, put on your water boots. About to get it dropping around here, make it rain on this mouth like that. You know what I'm saying? Let go.
You can go and take that African shit out of here. But anyways, you can see the hijack right there. The transcriber at the time converted it from slave owner to slave holder to beat the case. To beat the case.
Slave owner to slave holder.
You can't take us to court behind that shit, nigga. We hold. We don't own. We hold. Baby, I just holding the weed. This shit ain't mine. That ain't my weed, nigga. I just holding that shit. Come on. So anyway, let's move along. So you're going to see something very funny here. The slave owner, his name is Andros, Barnes, Blassingame, Clark, Cleveland, Colbert.
Now, just keep paying attention. Now, I don't know how random this stuff is and how this is going, but I think we all kind of have our antennas up right now. But it ain't really taking much to get our attention because it's all in our face. So, the first name on this list. Now, these are the largest slaveholders in Georgia. So these particular families are some of the largest families in Georgia that are owned by slave owners, not holders, right? They're trying to be slick, but they're owning you, not just holding you. Anyway, making long, my last name, that's my government name, you know what I'm saying? We hate it. When you get down to it, they made you hate yourself. Oh, I need to get rid of my slave master's name. No, your slave master had a different name, and he took your name and hid his identity and used your name to accrue his empire, his debt. So this Andros is my name. My father's name, his father's name. And it's the only A out the whole list, right? So, you know what I'm saying, we're all intertwined, we're doing this, and he doesn't know. I'm pretty sure my brother Let Us Find the Truth did not know my last name is Andros. But now he know. I still didn't tell him. So this is a surprise. The only A happens to be me. So it got my attention. I think I almost dropped my cup, and I said, huh? Because I heard, you hear stories and all this stuff when you grow up, but now we're all coming back to ourselves, and this is getting very interesting. So let's go.
So you're going to see something very funny here.
Oh, what's funny?
The slave owner, his name is Andros Barnes, Blasingame, Clark, Cleveland, Colbert, Culver House, Danley, Dennis Everett. You know how many of these names? I know so many people I went to school with, and it's like, yo, straight up, these are your names. And these slave masters hijacked your name.
Right.
I know these names. Everett, Gibson, Hammock, Harris, Harvey, Hendrick, Hill, Howard, Hunter, Jackson, Jones. Why do you see the name Jones 4 times in the same location? Well, because this guy over here got some Joneses. This guy over here got some Joneses. This guy over here got some Joneses. So we just going, to keep this shit simple. And, of course, so we can do shit in their name, we'll just use their name.
We the Jones.
That way we can own all the shit and do this shit. But we know wherever these motherfuckers is right here, wherever Nathan was, Jones, that's your shit.
Right.
If you's a Jones and you come out of Georgia, wherever the fuck this nigga was, he is where your shit is. Where the fuck John is where your shit is. John took over your fucking land and he doing shit in your name. It's almost like the Three Little Bears, ain't it? Is it the Three Little Bears? When the little girl coming to the house, and she like, ooh, she sit at the table and she tasting all the porridges and shit. She like, this one don't fit. Let me go to this other slave house. This one don't fit. I like this shit. Whoever this slave nigga is right here. Oh, this is Jordan. Jordan shit tastes good. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna eat Jordan food. Jordan food did. So if Jordan make corn, I'm fucking with the corn. Jordan's corn is now my corn. So I'm Jordan. Jordan's me. Jordan's the corn. Right?
Wow.
You skip that and you go sit in a few chairs. You go sit in this chair. You go sit in that chair. You get to Jordan chair. You're like, man, Jordan chair feel good as a bitch. I'm gonna sit in Jordan chair. I like this shit. You go get to the beds and shit. You go through the beds or whatever. And you get to Jordan bed. You're like, you know what? I like everything about Jordan. This nigga's like a fit. This nigga fit like a glove. I'ma rock with Jordan. Jordan sounds like a good fucking fit. So they went right into your fucking house, evicted your ass, enslaved your ass, put you back under their rule. That's the hijack right there. That's what the fuck going on.
That's the hijack.
That's what's going on. They fucking took you. Now this makes me really wonder. This really makes me fucking wonder. You can't prove a slave ship in Africa. You're not going to tell me that my fucking name comes from Africa. You got to go find it. You jacked the names. You jacked it. You didn't give me your name. You jacked the name. Right? So, my name ain't African.
All right, so we're getting the picture. This is the hijack. I mean, one of our hijacks. Very interesting, right? That's all we can do is bring interesting things out for us to think about. It's not for us to judge. Please don't come over here saying, nah, nigga, you crazy. I'm going to say leave. This is a classroom. We're putting together theories. We're combing through them. We're exchanging documents, and we're getting somewhere. And that disturbs people. And they feel like, well, they just, instead of just being appreciative and humble, they come in and say, well, what about this? And what about that? And what about this? And what about that? How am I going to do it? How about the Creator? You haven't even mentioned the Creator. How? But why? Nobody's a genie. We are following the Creator. You're trying to follow us? No, you need to follow the Creator. He will let you know exactly how you fit into what we're doing, if you see it that way, or what you need to do. But either way, we got to assemble and be a tribe. And those that know. But if you don't know, or if it ain't for you, don't come with judgments, because this ain't for you. You know, this is not about free will. This is actually about freedom. Everybody does not have the free will to be jam up artists. You know what I'm saying? Jam up Jones with questions. It's about freedom. So if you are contributing to the energy of freedom, you rock. We are Drop Nation. We are putting it together drop by drop. Put on your rain boots. But if you just come in acting like, oh, I got free will, I could just talk shit, you tripping, man. Ain't nobody that nice. I mean, we're trying to be cool, but we're not that nice. Come on, man. All right, so the King's breaking it down. I'm going to get a little bit more of this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take this. I'm just going to take that. Kings, let us find the truth. You already know how I'm feeling. So I pulled up the exact same document. I will attach it for you. This is, again, what's going down, the census, what's the 1870 in Georgia. Crawford County. All right. And you get this, you read it. It's you gotta read it. I'm not gonna read it to you. You can let him read it to you, you know, or you can read it yourself. All right. Again, on top of this list, Andros, right? So whoever this Nick guy is, you know, technically, I find out where this is. You know what I'm saying? He on my shit. All right. I mean, it's possible. Right now we got a new pot. Look, I'm excited to have a possibility I didn't have before. I got land closer than I thought, man. That's pretty good. Nah, man, it's like, look, this is how we, you know, they came, killed your parents, and then raised the kids on their land, but they treated, you know, they were slaves on their own land. So they went, you know, whatever group of people, whatever person, they bought this plantation, whatever the case, or this person's land turned it into a plantation. Your house was turned into plantations. They found your cribs and turned them into plantations. Took your name, took your title. Now, when did all this go down? When did all this happen, right? Huh? When did all this happen? When did all this go down? How is this all connecting? Let's keep going, because it gets mad interesting. Mad interesting. All right, so we got a lot of stuff going down, you know what I'm saying, simultaneously. Okay, so whenever they went, let's say they came 1400, 1500s, and they did this then, or 1600s, those names were already in your family, right? Those names were already there. The brother just proved that. They didn't find those names anywhere else in the world. They found, let's just go with Andrew, since I let you know that's my last name. I'm going to use myself as an example, and it's going to be really, bug me out. Honestly, it bugged me out. But let's go. So they found these Andrewses. They killed my parents, right? Or they killed everybody, my elders, everybody, right? Under Andrews, let's just go with that theory. And wherever they, you know, in Georgia, wherever the case is, where we were, Cherokee, wherever we were, right? And then the kids, you know, the children grew up, you know what I'm saying, not knowing shit, you know, and that happened through generations. But these people then took the Andrews name. Now, they've already proven that the Andrews name was already there. Now, you link that with Lex Will, Shalmaneser drop, right? The 1200s, Mongols coming, all this kind of stuff like that, things being, all right? So then you got people being led away. So if people were led away, let's say out of here, around the 1200s, and started back then, right? Led away, right? And they were brought to Asia, let's say. And now you have this Europe connection with the Andrews now there that were taken away here in the 12 or 1300s. I'm just going off with there. So now you have Coopers and you have whatever your last name being traced with these family shields of those that were in these, bloodlines or lineages that are now going over there fighting the Romans. In 1200s, 1300s, you know what I'm saying? Now you got these wars going down, these people going head up, these Gauls and all these people, all these family names and crests. And how does it connect? And where did it start from? Let's keep going. I don't know nothing, but let's go. This is what I know. When I type in Andrews, family crest, I get this. Now, what's so weird, man, is that I tried to do this with a bunch of other last names, common last names. And then the only one that I could find that pops up, and you'll see it in another, with a blatant dude, because on their shield, it has what they call a Saracen. Let's just read what they say. Set myself up here. All right. So Andrews, they say origin Scottish, right? Because that's what they're known as in Scotland. But, you're going to see that they have origins other places, right? Coat of arms, a red shield, green satire, over which is a gold satire, crest, a Saracen's head. So right there on the crest, it says a Saracen's head. Now then you say, oh, Arab, right? I think they even write Arab. Right? He said the motto for this Andrews crest, which we'll later research, and it says right here, this family was strongly associated with the Clan Ross. Clan Ross. I don't know nothing about Clan Ross. But a long time ago, I had this job in Vancouver, and it was like Scottish something day, and he came to me, and I might still have it, with I guess something like this, some type of like thing that had Andrews on it, and it had Clan Ross, and it had all this history, and I put it somewhere, and now I gotta find this thing, because he knew something I didn't know. He gave me this thing right in my hand. And now I look up and I see this curly head, copper color, ruddy brother as their logo, as their motto. And what is their motto? The word, it says, wisdom is the conqueror of fortune. Vitrix fortuna sapientia. Wisdom is the conqueror of fortune. The word Saracen was used in the early centuries of the Roman Empire. So we're back in the Roman Empire, back with Let Us Find the Truth, Lex Will, let's go. Let's suffer this thing out. Let's connect the dots. Was used in the early centuries of the Roman Empire, describing an Arab tribe from the Sinai Desert. In modern terms, the Saracen is commonly used as to apply to Mediterranean pirates or to describe a nomadic Arab. So Arab. The funny thing with all this Arab talk, is that this entire site is dedicated to the lost tribes of Israel. Oh, this is all about Israelites. This red thread. I'm going to leave the link so y'all can comb through this. This is all about Israel. So they know this guy ain't Arab. But the Saracens, now you see, is a code word for let us find the truth says submit to a promise. What's your promise? Hey, yeah, your covenant, redemption, the new covenant. Wow, right? All through, with the man, King's the higher mark because he's inspired so many people's drop. And then Let Us Find the Truth gets this drop, and Les got this drop. And when you see how we're working together here, Sister Nina doing, just kicking mad drop over there. Everybody kicking that drop. All right, so check it. What else does it say? Now, you got to understand how I might be a little, like what's really going on. The one name that starts with an A happens to be my last name. I look it up and I see a copper colored curly haired brother. Woolly haired brother, copper colored ruddy skin. And he's representing the Clan Ross. Alright, so when you think Clan Ross, when we get to reading about Clan Ross, this is what you got to understand. This is from them. This is not a black website. Let me prove it. Alright, this site is connected to that one. This is called House of Names. I'm going to link it as well. I look up Andros. You can type in your name. You'll get a family crest. And this is what I get from Andros. Again. Wisdom is the conqueror of fortune. Wisdom. Okay. I'm not tripping, right? So you saw two separate examples of Andros. Both had the head on them. I still haven't been able to find another one with the head on them. So when you get the link, put your name in, and tell me what you come up with. Try to find another one that got a head on it like this. And I'm trying to match these things up and see what we're talking about. All right. So we got this joint. All right. All right. We got this joint. Andros. All right. So these are your names. They're walking around claiming Andros, but they're claiming this. And let me prove it. I'm finding a little picture right quick. And you're going to see how funny this is. How much of a hijack this stuff really is. Oh, they're playing. Stop the play. I'm trying to play with my internet on me. All right, anyway, it's one of these pages like this, but it's showing like, there are people posing, you know what I'm saying, like, do you want to buy this? They got the mugs, they got the everything, and they got this shirt. And it's just a regular white guy who's posing with the shirt like this with the black guy, you know what I'm saying? With this melanated brother. And he's posing with it. Like, hijack. So, you know what I'm saying? You search through it, you'll find stuff like that. But let's keep going for the drop. Alright, so you got the link. And we're going to read about Andros. You know what I'm saying? I'm using myself. I'm throwing myself out here to see what's going on with this drop. Since the name popped up as the only letter A, I can't just say it's coincidence. I got to see what's going on, all right? So the first thing you get is it says the Picts, P-I-C-T-S. P-I-C-T-S. If you don't get your browser out and put in P-I-C-T-S, you ain't shit. No, just play. But the Picts of ancient Scotland were the tribe of the ancestors of the Andros family. That's a mouthful. All by going into the House of Names and putting in Andros and trying to see, okay, if they took my names, then where did my name, you know, let me trace this name. I see this brother with the copper colored skin. I'm like, what's going on? And then he says, the Picts of ancient Scotland were the tribe of the ancestors of the Andros family. And then it goes into how the name Andros is derived from the baptismal name Andrew, which in Greek means manly. The name was popular as both a personal name and surname, likely because it was the name of Scotland's patron saint. The Gaelic name is Andrea, which again means manly. Manly. All right, cool. I can dig that. All right, so look. The Picts of ancient Scotland. The Picts of ancient Scotland. The Picts of ancient Scotland. I would be remiss if I didn't click Picts. If you didn't click Picts, who are the Picts of ancient Scotland? We are tying this all together rapidly. All right? We're in Turkey. We're going to Scotland. You know, King James is a little later. All this stuff is added to that. King James is melanated. All these people are dark people. I showed you that. I showed you what Andros, the House of Andros, looked like. And now you're going to trace us in Scotland. Right? All throughout. Let's see. Who are the Picts? Let's trace the Picts. I'll put this on the screen so you can read it, and then I'm going to get to it. Hopefully that's big enough for you. Pause it, read it, pull it up. Let's go. The Picts were the mysterious warrior people of ancient Britain. The Picts were the mysterious warrior people of ancient Britain. Let's go. The Picts were a mysterious warrior people of ancient Britain. According to tradition, the Picts migrated from the shores of Brittany around 15th century BC. BC. So we ain't getting our dates here. Let's go. 15th century BC. All right, come on. They sailed northward to Ireland, but were refused permission to settle there by the ancient kings of that land. However, the Picts were granted permission to settle in the northeastern part of Scotland on the condition that each Pictish king marry an Irish princess. Whoa! Doesn't that sound like what was happening with the Israelites? And now the condition for them to settle there is that you have to marry our daughters. So that they can get what? I told you are royal, but let's see. Because would this happen if these people weren't royalty? Why would they force them to marry their daughters if they weren't trying to get royal blood from the Picts? Who are the Picts? A mysterious warrior people of ancient Britain. Again, Shalmaneser came here and he took people away. Right? They took people from here way back then in 1200s. And now you got these Picts, or a mysterious warrior people, wandering around ancient Britain. Alright? Let's go. However, the Picts were granted permission to settle, on condition that each Pictish king marry an Irish princess, thus providing the Irish with a colony whose rulers were of royal Irish blood. Irish don't mean white. German don't mean white. Scottish don't mean white. You just seen the crest. So now the Pictish king providing the Irish with the colony whose rulers were of royal Irish blood. So now they got royal blood because they married into the Pictish family, the Andros family. Let's go. The Pictish settlement was ruled by a matriarchal hierarchy. Here we go. Now Lex just broke down how they keep hiding you in this system. They keep trying to do that. Now, regardless of what happened and what, they keep doing that. Again, you go to your NIV, it says a lioness. You go to in Genesis, 9, talking about Judah will rise, and as a lioness who will raise him. Then you got to keep going back to find old lion. And every time you get close, they keep trying to put you into something else. But now we're going to keep connecting the dots. All right, so the Picts were noted for their ferocious resistance to the incorporation of Britain into the Roman Empire. And again, back to the matriarchal thing, that doesn't mean that some of them couldn't be married. Look, the Picts, let me just go back 1 second. The Picts of ancient Scotland were the tribe of the ancestors of the Andros family. Which means that the Andros family came from the Picts. Alright? I just want to get that. So the Picts had many different groups, right? So some of them could have been off doing this, some could be off doing that. But I don't want to just give it to them because these hijacks are telling me that they're this and this and that. I just want to get the babies out. So the Picts were noted for their ferocious resistance to the incorporation of Britain into the Roman Empire. They were against that shit. They were against the hijack. Remember, the Roman Empire is in Turkey. Turkey is Mazaka. But the original name, according to Josephus, Book 1, Chapter 6, is Mosek, Meshek, Moshi. Then you got the Moshi people in Peru. You got the connection here and there, Turkey. And now you got the incorporation of the Roman Empire. And who was resisting it ferociously? The Picts were noted for their ferocious resistance to the incorporation of Britain into the Roman Empire. The Romans gave the Picts the name by which we know them, and their name for themselves is now lost. Another dead end. That's not even their name, the Picts. They're just called the Picts by their enemies, just like Anasazi. Do you see the correlation, what keeps happening to you all over? Are you not spread throughout the four corners? And this is not a part of our culture here. Do we not see it with our own eyes? In two different sources of what they're putting and calling Saracens. And now you got the 1452 dumb Diversas when the Pope says, King of Spain and Portugal, I give you permission to subjugate, fight, invade, steal, do everything I can, and put these Saracens and pagans and enemies in Christ into perpetual, forever slavery. And that's never changed. And then you got Columbus in 1492, you know the story. So the Romans gave the Picts the name by which we know them, and their name for themselves is now lost. The name Pict is derived from Latin word pictus, which means painted, like painted faces, and refers to the designs painted by fierce Pictish warriors upon their bodies. So these are tribal people, straight up. Straight tribe, not like, oh, I'm in Scotland. These are straight up dark tribal people coming from where they were brought there, or they came there looking for something after the Atlantis thing. Something happened, man, where these are people that are now coming up from these same people here, and they're from here, and now they're going over there, and then they came back here, and then the ones over there were eventually captured and put in slavery from Europe to America. Remember, our dark people, our family was coming from Europe to America. All that World War I, World War II stuff was blowing you up. Your family that was still there in the 1800s, 1900s, they were still blowing you up. The World War II and World War I is just a front for them blowing you up, cleansing Europe of these dark people. That is your family that weren't brought over here in boats. So you see, if you want the slave trade, then you got the boats coming from Europe for the most part. You know what I'm saying? But all this stuff was in the thousands, and you know what I mean? We're trying to put it together, right? So I'm trying, you trying. But these are the pics. We didn't know that. I didn't know that. So Picts means painted and refers to the designs painted by the fierce Pictish warriors upon their bodies. The Picts and their rivals to the west. Their rivals to the west were the Daldrian Scots, relentlessly harried the Roman legion, harried or bothered the Roman legions in Britain, leading to the construction of Hadrian's Wall as a defense against their raids. Nevertheless, even this barrier could not protect the Romans. Even that barrier couldn't protect the Romans. These Picts was kicking Roman ass. They were known for kicking Roman ass. You understand? They were known for kicking royal ass. Roman ass. They are royal. They were stolen. Hijacked. This is Hijack 101, man. I'm walking around with the name Andros all my life, thinking, you know, I got no pride in it at all. And it takes this brother to bring this out for me to understand, dang, they stole it from me. They're stealing my identity right now. How come I don't know about this? How come they get this? How come they got my face on a t-shirt? How come they buying coffee mugs? Huh? How come they putting us on coffee mugs? And who were they blowing up in World War I and World War II in Europe? Let's get to the bottom of things. So check it. So the Hadrian's Wall was built as a defense against the Picts. Nevertheless, even this barrier could not protect the Romans. The Picts and Scots overran the wall in 367 AD and slew a prominent Roman military commander. Did it sound like these people were fucking around? All right, so who are they? Let's just keep going. Now, before we get to Clan Ross, there's a place called Pictland. Pictland. I'll give you a sneak peek of it in my magic map here. This is Pictland. P-I-C-T land. Now, it's separated into 12 portions. If you don't believe me, count them. Do you see the lion? These are all different shields, right? These are all animals, right? And there are 12 of them, right? And just to give you a hint, this is the Western Hemisphere. So their land is in the Western Hemisphere, indigenously. But I just wanted to give you that right quick in case you thought I was fucking with you. So they're from here. They're over there now during this time period. Let's go. Clan Ross. Remember, it said Andros is a member of Clan Ross. So let's read about Clan Ross. It is a Highland Scottish clan. It says the original chiefs of the clan were the original Earls of Ross. The original chiefs. Chiefs. Hiya. Chiefs. War prominent warrior painted Picts painted chiefs. The original chiefs were the original Earls of Ross. Now you're going to read about the Jacobite rising and all the Jacobites. These were, of course, the folks that's fighting with who? King James the First. So who was fighting against King James the First? Clan Ross, the Picts, Scottish, right? It was, that's the whole Braveheart story. William Wallace is Clan Ross. Another hijack. You thought Exodus was bad, huh? Braveheart, Mel Gibson is playing black ass William, and you'll get to the bottom of this William thing. And he's from Clan Ross. Saracen. Let's just go. Out first, I'm just, I know Wikipedia. Here's some quick drop, and you can get deeper, man. Pay attention to this line that's gonna keep popping up. Let's go. The first recorded chief of the Clan Ross was Furcher Mac Ansakerd. Furcher Mac Ansakerd. I'm trying to go quick here. I want you to see this name right here. The original chief, Clan Ross. Alright, you got that? Okay. Let's go. Alright, so this Furcher Mac, I'm just gonna call him Furcher Mac. He said, which in English meant son of the priest. So this original chief of the Clan Ross that's against the Romans, fighting against King James, his name meant son of the priest, alluding to his descent from the hereditary abbots and Applecross. I mean, you can keep looking this stuff up, man, to see what's going on. Back to King Alexander II of Scotland. These are all dark people, all the stuff like that. Now, they're putting a lot of hijacks, and, some of the stuff you research, it goes here, it goes there, and they'll just inject their family into this. So I don't know, what I'm saying, but we're getting babies again. I'm going to skip down a little bit. All right, this is going to sound like Braveheart right here. During the Wars of Scottish Independence, the Clan Ross fought against the English at the Battle of Dunbar in 1296. Whoa, when did Shalmaneser come? Did he bring people back? What happened? And now we got people warring against the powers there and their chiefs and tribal. Now, Clan Ross fought against the English at the Battle of Dunbar 1296, where the chief, the Earl of Ross, was captured. This meant that for a short time, William II, Earl of Ross, sided with the English, but he later supported Robert the Bruce of Scotland, just like Braveheart. Then he got Robert the Bruce, and then there was all the double crossing. Because they got his daddy and all the stuff like that. All right, so the Clan Ross fought alongside King Robert the Bruce when Earl Furcher's grandson William Wallace led the clan against the English at the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314. All right, and then you got Aod, Earl of Ross. The fifth Earl was killed at the Battle of Helden Hill in 1333. So it's starting to sound real Bravehearty, right? All right, let's keep going. Now, right quick, actually, let me get to the Jacobite. Jacobite Rising. All right. Let me get this spot. All right, so all this is about the rebellion. All right, so Jacob Rising. Wait, I'm going to find this King James spot right quick. Oh, no. Let me just get that first. That's what I was trying to look for. All right, Jacobite. What's a Jacobite? All right, so we talk about England and all this kind of stuff, and Jacobites, it sends Jacob. I was like, oh, Jacob. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They're just flipping stuff. So Jacobites are not your allies. All right, Jacobite is a supporter of the deposed King James II and his descendants in their claim to the British throne. That's who we're fighting against. They had a claim that we didn't respect, right? So they're fighting against the British throne after the Revolution of 1688. They rose up after 1688 with James II, drawing most of the support from Catholic clans of the Scottish Highlands. So the Scottish Highlands were a lot of, dark clans, right? But then they started getting, a lot of them got converted. And you got Edom, you got different things that's going on there. So you got Edom and you got Israel. Edom and Israel's going, Esau and Jacob, the real Jacob's going down here. The fight's going here and the fight's going there. And it's going simultaneously. We got tribal wars here, tribal wars there. All this is black on black. I ain't brought in no white people yet to the entire story. This has all been black on black. And this is 1200, 1300. This is before you were invaded. Dumb Diversas, all this kind of stuff did not give it. We were still fighting melanated people. But they were using other people as mercenaries. But it had been going down in tribal war. So a Jacobite is a supporter of King James, drawing most of their support from the Catholic clans of the Scottish Highlands. All right, so that's what a Jacobite is. So when we get into Jacob's Rising, all right, so we got Jacob's Rising. During the Jacobite Rising in 1715, the Clan Ross, along with their allies, and name some other people, Clan Monroe, Mackay, Sutherland, were forced into a retreat by a larger force of Jacobites in what is now known as the Skirmish of Alness. The Jacobites were led by William Mackenzie, 5th Earl of Seaford, chief of Clan Mackenzie. So you got the Mackenzies. So you're going to find out who the allies are, and then you'll find out what your family crest is when you go to these links. But clearly, this Clan Ross is against the Jacobites, against King James, against the Romans. So it's very interesting about these guys, right? We're still talking about Andros. We're still talking about, Scottish Highlands. We're still talking about you. I'm using my name, but you look up your name and you'll be talking about you too. All right. Let's skip ahead. I had some other stuff I wanted to bring out, but I want to get to this map so I don't leave y'all hanging. All right, so Andros, Anderson, all that kind of stuff. These are all the same names. McAndrews, all the same names. Different derivations of the same names. Now, this is interesting. When I bring up Anderson, same name, it brings me to what's called the Chattan Confederacy. First I'm like, Chattan, it sounds like, Chatal, all the Esau talk. But then I have to research, okay, are we talking about people that are fighting with the Romans or against the Romans, or what's going on? So this is very interesting. So nobody wants to get hijacked. So since the clans of Clan Andrew are in Badenoch, someplace. The clan itself is recorded in the Kinrara manuscript. So research the Kinrara manuscript, the Kinrara, Kinrara manuscript, as coming to the lands of Badenoch in the hearts of the Chattan Confederacy territory. So research Chattan Confederacy. We're about to look it up. The Modart from Modart around 1400. Thus, Clan Anderson became part of Chattan Confederation. So I said, like you said, what's this Chattan Confederation? I look up Chattan Confederation. Just do a quick search on it. Let's see what we're talking about. Chattan Confederation. This is what's going on as a territory of when they came in and who they allied with. Now, why did they ally with the Chattan Confederation, right? Why did this house of Anderson or this clan Ross or, you know what I'm saying, whoever ally with them? Andrews ally with them. Clan Chatton is a Highland Scottish clan. The clan is unique in Highland clan history in that it was a community or confederation of 12 separate Scottish clans. Wait. I mean, we're tying stuff, man. You know what I mean? What's going on, right? So Clan Chatton is a Highland Scottish clan. The clan is unique in Highland clan history in that it is a community or confederation of 12 separate Scottish clans who each had their own clan chief recognized under Scottish law. Scottish just meant black law or their law or the laws they were following, but who were united under and bound to a superior chief. So over Clan Chatton, there was a superior chief of the confederation for mutual solidarity, sustenance, and protection in the Middle Ages and early modern period in the Scottish Highlands. So this was the group of, I'm going to go ahead and say it, Israelites. And this was their confederation. They were set in their 12 tribes, and they had one superior chief, and this was their solidarity, sustenance, and protection in the Middle Ages at that time period against who? The Romans and everybody else that they were fighting against. And you got the link. So that's Clan Chatton. I know. It's getting funner and funner. Then you research Clan Ross. I don't have time right now, but you research Malcolm Ross. Malcolm Ross was the 5th Pictcalnie. Pitcalnie. Pitcalnie was the rightful heir of, you know, it talks about all this stuff. So research Malcolm Ross when you look up Clan Ross, and you'll get the drop. Now, the more you keep digging, the more you dig and you get to somebody else who's called the King of the Picts. So who's the King of the Picts? I said, King of the Picts, who's this? And you get this guy right here. Necton. You ain't gonna find no real images of Necton, man. I've been looking. Let us find the truth. Somebody, Necton, man. Well, let's see what's going on with this Necton. Alright. Necton Mac Der Ele. Alright. Was king of the Picts. Alright. 706 to 724 and 728 to 729 he succeeded his brother Bridai. In 706 he is associated with significant religious reforms in Pictland. Whoa. So Necton is associated with religious reforms in Pictland. He abdicated in 724 in favor of his nephew and became a monk. In 728 and 729 he fought in a four-sided war for the Pictish throne. So they had the war for the Pictish throne. So research this Necton. He's saying he's a reformer, religious reformer in Pictland. We showed you Pictland. We went there already with you. We said, what is Pictland? What do we say? I'll show you again. It's a smaller image. Pictland. But let me stop teasing you. Again, 12 sections, right? But this is not in Europe. And here's the fun part. Let's make our dismount. Yeah, they had their confederation there, but they came from here. So the Pictland was here, and then they set up shop there once they were taken there or went there or however they got there at that time. I'm still trying to get the drop on that, so let's build this together. I'm going to drop this link. I don't have time to read it now. I was hoping I did. This is called The Folklore of the Picts, and it is very interesting. And it's going to give you severe drop about a little bit more into these Picts and what's going on. A lot of babies coming out the bath of water. I'll just read this part. He says, I have made reference to oral traditions concerning the Picts, which include from Fife the statement that they were we red-haired folk awfully strong. That bigot a man. This is all. I can't even. It's not even legible. But I'll just skip right here. It is within the oral tradition that we can glean another way of looking at the pics. So he's saying that this red hair thing is what they heard, but here's how we can really find out what these people look like. First, however, I would like to go back to 3500 BC and the building of Calanius. The magnificent lunar temple was created before the Egyptians raised the pyramid and could only have been created by people with sophisticated mathematical and engineering skills. So this Calanius, Calanais, go for it, in 3500 BC, according to them, this BC stuff, this was a pyramid or a temple that predates Egypt. I said Egypt came and hijacked you here. You were here first. Now we got Picts in Pictland, even though that's not the original name, but we're getting there, right? And it's just all tying to the battles going on, this Esau stuff, all this stuff, man. All right? So these people were already building. Now the oral tradition has kept the stories of the builders of Callanish, Callanish, and I believe that due to the inherent conservative nature of the oral and storytelling traditions in pre-literate societies, there is much we can learn from them. It is also true to say that the most history is little more than propaganda written by the winners of particular military, social, and economic struggles, of course. But whether or not the stories of black men, we're talking Picts, but whether or not the stories of black men selling to Lewis to raise the stones of Callanish and the founding of a new religion there are true, the very existence of these stories shows that the people who were here before the Pictish period were highly civilized, if pre-literate. And there is no reason for believing other than these were the ancestors of the Picts. So the people that were there before them were civilized. Therefore, these people must also have been super duper civilized, mathematical, everything. And I'll just leave it at that because it goes deeper. But now you see more substantiating evidence that these people are special. And that's why when they arrived over there in Europe, they were forced to marry Irish women or other women so that they can get royal blood. We're talking about royal family who is over here in Pictland. Pictland. I'm showing you more of the map now. Again, this is like some type of little gamer Hyborian map. And it came about when I was researching Pictland because a lot of your stuff is hidden in folklore. And this is the map, Pictland, and this is what it looks like. You see? This is the map. Here's what you would call Africa. This is when it's together. And this is what they're putting together. And you'll see when we zoom in, they ain't fucking with you. But they hide it under this Hyborian War. I used to hear about this Hyperborea. And this is you, America. Or maybe this is part of Lemuria. I don't know. But I know that this is supposed to be South America. And they have South America about 12 times the size of what we're calling Africa. Now you think we're bullshitting? That everything that they're saying is there is really right here? And that this is South America? And that you'll see what Peru? And you'll understand what's over here? And that this is Pictland? Let's zoom in. Let's explore, shall we? Let's stop messing around a little bit. Let's go into Pictland again. And let's just explore now that we got our... Now you got the link, so you do it. Alright? Alright, so we got Pictland. Let's go down. So this is supposed to be West Coast, right? This is what? West Coast, California, Oregon, all that kind of stuff. Right? Or a little higher up. Now, Southern clan, Northern clan, Pictland. Alright, hurry for my battery cup. So we got Pictland, and then we got Northern, Southern clans, clan Ross, clans, tribes, chiefs, clans, Pictland. So this is all Israel. You got all this Israel, right? Now let's pay attention to what we're seeing here. If you think we're playing, whoa, I'm getting too excited. You know me, I will toss this thing clean off the balcony because I represent the best coast. All right, let's go. Ooh, almost did it again. Now, what does that say? Read the white letters if you can. S-H-E-M. Shem. Shem. Pictland, the kingdom, Shem. What is Shem connected to? Why does it say Shem? Let me just pull up and see. It's about to get real fun. We got a few minutes here. Now, I know it's hard to see, but when you pull it up, you'll see it just fine. I'm trying to see because I'm going to be looking backwards. Okay. This is called Stygia. S-T-Y-G-I-A. This is Egypt. How do you know this is Egypt? Because this right here is Kim. That's Kemet. You tell me what you see. Tell me that's not Egypt. Underneath that, here, I'll just give you a go. All right, so where's Shem? Shem's on top. So Shem is right on top of Egypt. You don't think that's Egypt yet? You don't think that's Kemet? Man, I'm trying to tell you. Now you tell me. I don't know, right? I don't know nothing. You tell me if we stumbled on something here. You tell me if we stumbled on the map. The map. Now, let's keep scrolling down. Same side. Egypt. Shem's on top of that. Here you see Timbuktu, which I believe might be Timbuktu. Now keep scrolling down into Peru. This is South America, right? This is all South America. Here it says Black Coast. Here it says Black Kingdoms. This is all Black Coast, Black Kingdoms. I believe this is where Cuzco is. This is where Peru is. They're calling it Black Kingdoms. Oh, don't forget Kush. I know you see Kush. K-U-S-H, Kush. They call it Stygia. This is Egypt. How do we prove it? Well, you look up Stygia according to this little, their little resource base. And we'll also look up the Pictish wilderness. Let's just get it. What do they have to say about the Pictish wilderness and their virtual system? The Pictish wilderness, or Pictland, is the last remnant of the great uncivilized West, which remains after Hyborian invasion. So the Pictish wilderness, the Pictland is the last remnant of the great uncivilized, West, remains after the Hyborian invasion. So after they invaded, Pictland is the last remnant of this civilization. It's the remnant, the last remnant. This region, which once stretched from the western ocean to the borders of ancient Acheron, now is reduced to a strip of wilderness, a tenth of its size. So they used to have 10 times the space, which where we show you the north and south clans all the way up to the black kingdoms and all this stuff like that. They used to have 10 times the space, but what happened? After the invasion, they lost all their space, and now they just got that last little bit. It says now it's only reduced to a strip of wilderness, a tenth of its original size. The Pictish wilderness is virgin forest, filled with oaks and maples, haunted by creatures thought extinct. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So now you're going to get all this to the hijack. Oh, they worship some animal god and all this kind of stuff. So that's the hijack. But you see they're in the wilderness. They're a remnant. We talked about Stygia, how you want to say Egypt. However, they're saying Egypt. And whatever this language is, whatever it's Latin, I don't know. Stygia, the desert kingdom, possibly the most infamous nation in Hyborian mainland, is the birthplace, home, and wellspring of the priesthood of Set, the serpent, god of darkness. This is your Stygia. Stygia. Priesthood of Set. You don't think we're talking about Egypt? You don't think these people got the drop? You don't think they got the drop? You think this is a game? Just because you see a game map, you think it's a game? You don't think they'll put all the drop right in your face? Right in your face and say Stygia? Now let's go to Africa. Oh, come on. Come on. Let's go to Africa. Now you tell me if there's anything familiar about this place, right? All right, this is Africa. These names are like unfamiliar. All the names you thought are in Africa are in the Western Hemisphere. And all the names over here are like some weird names, right? I mean, that's supposed to be what, the Middle East? Right? It's supposed to be the Middle East around here, but you don't see no drop. Oh, but you come all the way over here. Now you see all the drop. Look at it. Let's see what else we can find on this map right quick. We got a couple minutes, maybe. I know I saw Zimbabwe over here. Oh man, we got Punt. We got Put. The Haunted Pyramid.